Greetings! This video is for my homeroom. If you're not in my homeroom, I guess you're watching anyway, but this is just for the homeroom here. ADOSM, it has been a exquisite year. It's been a memorable year. It's been an unpredictable year. This is not an end of the year video. This is just a, hey, you made it to spring break, and I wanted to give you each an affirmation. I got to go quick because my camera doesn't allow me to take very long videos, so put me on 0.5 speed if you want. Anyways, here we go. Sydney, I miss reading plays with you. You are a great actress. I love how you always had a joke tucked away and that you know the truth about Red Velvet. Saul, you keep punk rock bands relevant. You connect well with 7th graders. A lot of them are your friends. And you had the audacity to say once that you don't read in the afternoon, which after some explanation, I understood what you meant. And I felt like that was on point. Josiah, it has been my absolute honor to learn with you, to teach you this year, and to learn from you. You've grown in debate, in acknowledging other people's intelligence. I'm so thankful you helped me with the spring play, even if it was postponed. Memories of you helping with that were valuable. And your thoughts on Biden and Sanders will remain with me for a long time. Naija, I remember you launching out of your chair, usually during social studies. I'm sure Lydia remembers that too. When it comes to your writing, I will always think of parallel universes. Your writing always surprised me, and frankly, I can't explain why I was surprised. I always knew that you were a deep thinker, but you always brought a new level of quality that I didn't see coming. You broke expectations every time you submitted a big assignment. You are awesome. Jonathan Galeano Ordonez, you always fight for what's right. I am honored to be an advocate for you. I feel like you're an advocate for me. The whole homeroom could attest how refreshingly honest you are about your own life, about others. And I'm so glad we got to celebrate your birthday with you. Those tacos were probably the best lunch of my year. Ezra, some people in the class said that you and I looked alike. Okay, well, I was honored to be a metaphorical relative of you for a while. Couldn't ask for a better family tree, in my opinion. You are a heartbeat of any classroom. You have a great conscience. You're a helper to anyone. You have all the skills you need to flourish, my friend. And I'm thankful that we got to talk about basketball as well. Aiden, you invented the word of the day. Such words as witchcraft, as combustion. There were a few other ones too. I think aerodynamics. A lot of science words with you. Spooky, scary skeletons. October was a more memorable month because of you. And I remember how you just plunged in with design thinking when we built that house for our design thinking week in week 2 of the school year. Aaliyah, I've said it before, I will cherish how you are so reciprocal with questions, how you ask me how I am too. You are one of the only teenagers who asked me that question all year. Very thankful. You are such a cheerleader for your friends. You deserve to have a cheerleader. I am sure I'm not the only one, but I want to make sure that I am a cheerleader of you. One of my biggest hopes this year is that you feel important and that you feel confident and empowered. I loved reading your writing. It was long, it was deep, and it was never a waste of time. It was one of the great gifts of my profession to read what you wrote. Eva, the morning greeting we had, wordless yet wonderful. You'd bring in that coffee mug of Mountain Dew and that hat, and you were just ready to start the day. I never really got the thing. I never got the flair about Marvel movies. until you came along and you explained all these backstories and kind of subplots. And I can neither confirm nor deny, viewing public, but I may have watched all of the Marvel movies in chronological orders in, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks. And Eva, you were a large part of that, if it ever happened. You talked about Stan Lee. I loved that you were delving and experimenting with comic art. Ben, you expanded my knowledge about rock music. One of your greatest quotes of the year, Mr. Grell, I'm starting to think that you don't appreciate rock music. Very nice. Well, I didn't expect 8th graders to ask me to play Green Day and Metallica. I thought that ship had sailed, to be honest with you, but I'm so glad that you're an old soul and that you love the beats to course through your veins. I adored working with you one-on-one in writing this year. I expect that is not over, and we will find a way to make sure that you can teach that World War I lesson. So plan on that. Bosco, I remember the first week of school, you were one of the first students of the group that let me know that it would all be okay. And you talked about 5th grade, you were kind of clowning around, just doing your thing, but then your brother told you to take your life seriously, take advantage of the opportunities you had, and I'm like, here's the guy. Yes, 8th grade is his year. You were in discipleship, and you kept a conversation going all the time. You were great at asking questions, and I just loved your memoir. You remember that? You wrote about a recess experience you had in 7th grade, and I thought it was a great way to get to know you more. Tori, you are ambitious in the best way. You took that challenge to create 5 annotations on the lottery short story assignment. You have a good skill at creating embracing delayed gratification. So many people your age just want something now, but you're willing to see like the long term. I really admire that about you. That is going to take you far in life. Love what you're drawing. Love that you came up like that. Your drawing evolved over the year. It was just so, it's kind of unpredictable, but it was so like the quality increased so much. And I still challenge you to build that Isengard Tower from Lord of the Rings. Let's see if that happens. Connor, oh man, I just will always remember the strengths you showed at babysitting nights. You've got management skills. You are a future manager. Mark my words, you were and definitely are growing hugely. If you put your mind to it, you can grow in reading, in all the skills. You have a respect for yourself. You have a value for others. That time on Friday when I asked everyone how they, what their skills as a leader were, and you were just such an encourager. That was one of the best days probably of my career, and it was one of your best days too. Alyssa, I just love that there's just a dance buzzing in your bones. You, along with a few other girls in the homeroom, really helped me unleash the beast, which is the dancing Grell. So thank you for helping that exist. And interesting story here. I loved almost every exit slip, almost every single piece of paper that you wrote on. You include something about women's empowerment or wanting to learn about women's history. This made so much sense as you are a young woman and you want to know a little bit about history and how to make things better. I just admire you so much for sticking to your guns and just continuing to stay interested in that topic, especially since it seems like progress is slow. We're going to need people like you to stay interested. Ian, it felt like all we needed was just to look upon you and we would feel more calm. So whenever the homeroom freaked out, which was really just, I don't know, probably twice all year, we just looked to you and you'd flash that smile and have that man bun, and it was just a better day because you were there. I appreciate your song recommendations. Arkles is one of my favorite bands now. And I don't remember if you got to do your half marathon. If not, it will come. And you inspired me to run during quarantine, so I now run a mile a day. Will I run a half marathon? Probably not, but I'll run a mile a day. Anieth, I miss your laugh. I do. You have a magic of creating memories. I am so lucky that you were in my homeroom because I feel like I get to remember so much more of what we experienced this year. You are a spokeswoman for your classmates, you can kind of speak on behalf of the group, and I just appreciated the times you and I got to talk, just you and me. And I was able to gain a greater empathy for how teenagers experience life, especially these days, and you were able to understand my perspective too. Kalala, you have a great singing voice. Don't you dare keep it a secret. Also, I had heard of Billie Eilish, or how I like to say, William Eyelash. But I didn't know many of her songs, but you introduced me to a few more of them, and it's because of you that I am going to teach poetry using a William Eyelash song. So, brace yourselves. Kyla, I'm so glad that the talent show happened before we had to start online learning. I think I think the best treat, though, was you and me having a dance moment to prepare for the talent show right at the end of that school day on Friday. I will never forget that. You are a writer, Kyla. I loved that idea of like, what if every student just like wrote a couple sentences and create a story. We were so close to doing that, and I want to try to find a way to make that happen still. That would be awesome. Kyla, last thing, you named one of my movements a pep walk, and I don't think I will forget that ever, even when I am in a nursing home. Marcos, every day you would come up to me and greet me, and it's just that simple act of hello that makes a teacher like me feel very special and blessed. We only got to play indoor soccer a couple times this year, but I remember playing indoor soccer with you last year as well. It's been excellent to see you grow in those skills. And I feel like I can depend on you, sir. When the governor says that the social distancing is now over and we have permission, I want you to keep hugs alive, my friend. You've got this. Marlon, you always pursue excellence. You always took the stress of any class and turned it into an opportunity to grow in patience. And I think no one disrespects you. I think that's a pretty lucky thing to be told. I don't think anyone disrespects you. Everyone has a high value of you, Marlon. Corey, pizza and markers. Enough said. Some of the best, most surprising memories that I could never have predicted this year. It's kind of a great way to describe you. I think you have one of the most valuable opinions, ways to express yourself, and just thought processes. We need your voice. I'm so glad that you spoke up so much, that you participated so much. I'm really going to be missing you in the classroom experience. Erica, you have a thought process that is able to think about things that no one else is at your age. Just enjoy that. Kind of be humbled by that. You are thinking thoughts that no one else is. You also have this discontent, which sounds like it's a negative, but I have noticed that you use your discontent for certain things in your life to help you reach up for greater things. At your age, you're probably still trying to figure out what are those great things that you want to grab hold of, but it's awesome that you're starting to reach for them already. Without a doubt, you've got power and influence, and you get to face a daily battle for the rest of your life on how to use it for good. I felt like you were a great personal encouragement for me. I really valued you were one of the few students to hang back after class, usually at the end of the day, and ask me other questions and just get a little extra learning in that you wanted. If I had a secret, like a secret favorite thing from a teacher, a teacher's secret favorite thing is when a student stays after class and talks a little longer. Sam Welly, I miss your smile, my friend. I'm so glad that you wanted to become a storyteller this year. You have had huge growth from 7th grade to 8th grade. I'm so glad you got to work with Mr. Ken. I wonder if you're getting any of these videos. I wonder how you're learning in these next weeks and months. I just hope that you'll provide yourself with all the resources and the people that you can to keep growing, because you deserve it. And Lydia, oh man, I am just so glad that you were a part of that factory simulation. Remember when Mr. McGillicuddy came to manage the factory? Oh man, that was one of my highlights of the year. Thanks for being such a good sport with that. I remember the first babysitting night, you and the other girls had a volleyball game. There weren't enough people signed up, so I said, Lydia, do you want to come? And you're like, no, I don't want to do that. And then a few other girls said they wanted to do it, and you're like, yes, I do want to be there. And we got tacos, and it was a great experience, and that was awesome. I'm also just really admire people like you. You were like a stage manager to Mrs. Dean, and just to be a helper in that sort of way. It might feel like those labors were in vain, or it was like a fruitless work. Not so. Not so. You were able to connect with people. You were able to see how people work together when they were stressed out and putting a play together. So I really admire that you're willing to do that work and that you want to be involved in the arts. This is our homeroom. I am really blessed to know each one of you, and I miss you guys a lot. You guys get spring break now. I hope you challenge yourself to do something new. I hope new thoughts come to you, new experiences, and I hope that you guys stay healthy. Much love and stay hopeful.